Honourable Speaker, reading the question is slightly confusing. The Honourable Member is saying poor drainage along the Queen's Highway. I hope he's not referring to roadside drain, because that's part of the road design and that's under FRA. So I hope you're not referring to that. Honourable Speaker, I believe he's referring to central revision drainage, but along the Queen's Highway towards Singatoka. Honourable Speaker, in the last budget, government demonstrated its commitment to dealing with the issue of flooding throughout Fiji. And for the first time ever, government made substantial allocation to undertake drainage work, dredging work, riverbank protection, seawall protection, to protect our communities. Honourable Speaker, you may recall the underlying theme of the last budget was to protect communities, support and protect communities. Honourable Speaker, if Honourable Member had seriously perused through the 2018 and 19 budget estimate, you would have noted that there was a separate allocation, first time ever, for drainage for rural residential areas of $3 million. So this means never before we were undertaking drainage work for villages, Koro villages or settlements. We had drainage schemes. Designated area by law was designated as drainage scheme, and there was allocation for that. Plus we had irrigation schemes and floodgates. So other than that, we did not have any specific allocation for rural residential or villages or households, settlements. For the first time ever, we have got a $3 million allocation for that. Then we also have a separate allocation of $2.7 million for non-municipal council. For the second time in the budget, our government allocated resources, financial resources, for municipal council drainage. All along, municipal councils were struggling to undertake drainage work in their area. For the second time, the previous budget and this budget, the Minister for Economy decided that we will support the municipal council given the problems they were encountering resulting from flooding in the commercial CBD area. We had a separate allocation. In addition to that, we got another $2.7 million to deal with drainage outside the municipal council, but which does not fall under the rural residential. Then we've got, for the first time ever, outside sugar belt, because before allocation was for the sugarcane area under FSC, we also have additional allocation for non-sugar farms. Honourable Speaker, having said that, these allocations are for desilting of existing drains. So you've got existing drain which has been silted, so this allocation is utilized to desilt those drains. Number two, there are a lot of places where you need now to have new drains, excavation of drains. Three, there are creeks. Often, Honourable Speaker, when we talk about flooding, we talk about the bigger rivers, Nagua, Rewa, Rikireki, Nasisivia, Singatoka, but we forget there are a number of other tributaries, and because of activity that is happening upstream in the catchments, which didn't used to happen some 4 decades ago, logging and agricultural activity, there are a lot of topsoil, silt material getting washed away and coming to the waterway, coming downstream. So these creeks are also silted. We need to desilt these creeks, and there's an allocation for doing that as well. Then we also have river bank and seawall protection. So there will be good allocation for that. So, Honourable Speaker, substantial amount of work has been undertaken to deal with, specifically to the question asked by Honourable Lewere, to deal with the rural residential and settlement drainage along the Queen's Highway. Last year, we spent about 2.8 million just for works from Suva along the rural, Queen's Highway right up to Nyendi. Separating out the dredging work. That itself, for example, the Singatoka River dredging work is of the total value of 3.3 million. Separating that out, just for rural residential and settlement, we have spent last year 2.8 million. Honorable Speaker, in the Western Division, we did drainage work worth 1.1 million, Northern $500,000, and Central Division $1.1 million. Honorable Speaker, in the areas in the Central Division, areas of interest to Honorable Lavere. Honorable Lavere is from Navua village. Unfortunately, honorable members from the other side continues to talk about my area, their area. And he has been bugging me a lot about drainage work in Navua only. Navua only. He never talks about, whenever he meets me, Honorable Speaker, he never asks me about how we are solving problem in Rekireki flooding. Honorable Speaker, have you heard about the major rainfall we had? Did anyone got affected in Rekireki? No. Major wicked, never. He doesn't bother. He's not bothered about any other community except Galwa. Except Galwa. Okay. So now, settlement, drainage work along Queen's Highway in Navua. Galwa village, $8,000. Zolanuku village, $12,879.74. Nambotini village, $20,435. Your colleague asked, Waikalo floodgate upgrading works, $46,000. Wakambele Navua drainage work, $8,400. Waiwawa drainage work, $13,400. Toko Navua drainage work, $6,600. Nasasa drainage improvement, $29,000. Waindrandra, $12,000. This is only for last year, Honorable Speaker. Nakaulevu Navua drainage works, $5,700. Waiwawa Navua drainage works, $12,000. Waiyanitu Navua drainage work, $14,000. Rovandrau drainage work, $11,400. Nakau Level Creek desilting work, $8,000. Waikalo drainage work, $38,000. Kore Vasalo drainage work, $53,000. So this is in Navua, Honorable Speaker. I've got a list for entire Singatoka and Nyendi. That's also Queen's Highway. I can read that out, Honorable Speaker. It's on the members to ask me. Thank you.